I don't know, maybe you can look into the future. Otherwise, how do you know when it's time to upgrade your computer?
In this Compute This, the signs to look for before your PC goes belly up.
From Schrock Innovations, Thor Schrock. Good to see you, Thor.
Hi,
Good
Thor.
to see you. If I could look into the future, I wouldn't be worried about when I'm going to buy my computer. I'd
No
be worried
kidding.
about those lotto numbers next week.
There are other pressing matters.
Yeah. I could buy as many computers as I want then.
So
Take
what are
us
the-
with you.
Yeah, what are the tell-
Go to buy those tickets.
What are the telltale signs, though, when you know it's on your computer? When do you upgrade?
Well, the rule of thumb that I always use for my customers is when your computer no longer does the things you want it to do in the way you want it to do them, it's time for a new computer. So let me use my wife as an example. My wife is
The second guest.
is incredibly hard on laptops. It is really ironic that she married a computer guy because she can't work in the service centers because she has some bad technology juju around her. When she gets near technology, it just fails. So she can't wear a watch. Literally once she made a watch run backwards. I don't know how you do that, but she did it. And so she gets laptops, right? And then the USB ports start dying and stuff starts going wrong. And she keeps limping along because migrating is such a pain in the rear. And so she's limping along. And then finally this holiday special we had, I said, for Christmas, I'm getting you one of the holiday special laptops, you know, and you're going to get the solid state drive, the whole bit. Oh, I don't need that, blah, blah, blah. So she gets it, right? She's had that computer for 3 months almost. What, today's March 1st? Yeah, so 2 months, a little over 2 months, she's had that computer, and she hadn't touched it because it's such a pain to move everything over. So then finally, her computer gave her a scare and just wouldn't come on one day, and she's like, oh, I better start moving stuff. So she starts getting stuff over, and she's like, this new computer is like crazy fast. I had no idea. Her old computer, old Dell, you'd open it up, and you'd have to wait. If it went to sleep and went to wake up, you had to wait like 20 minutes for it to wake up.
But I think a lot of people would relate to that. You don't, because you get used to that performance and you forget how fast it should be.
Especially if you don't have a
dealing with
Marvel
it.
killing computer superpower.
Yeah.
You know?
But is that a sign when it's slow?
Yeah,
your
when
computer's
it's,
slow?
when it's unbearably slow.
Yeah.
You know, every computer's everyone says my computer slows down over time. In some ways that's true. That's why we recommend, you know, a preventative maintenance checkup every 6 months. But your computer isn't getting slower per se. The technology in there still works as fast as it did the day you got it. What's happened is software has continued to get more complex. All those patches and updates and new things you're asking the computer to do, it's like just drip, drip, drip in a bucket, and eventually that bucket gets really heavy. And so what you need to do is when you get to the point where your computer is either not working, not doing what you want it to do, or it's working so poorly that you're frustrated, then it's time to look at a new computer. That's the easiest thing. Now, the other thing that's come up in the last year is the death of Windows XP. We still have Windows XP computers that come into our service center. People bring them in, and they want to pay us to fix them. And you know, I got an email from a customer yesterday who was like, I took my XP computer into your Omaha service center, and they did everything right. This is not a complaint, but you know, they didn't try to upsell me anything, which is not a complaint. They didn't try to push anything on me. They just did exactly what I asked for and sent me out the door. It was good service, but as a business owner myself, I wanted to let you know, I'm sure you have a sales model where you sell stuff, so they weren't doing it. And you know, the reason they didn't do it is because, man, you've got a Windows XP computer. You shouldn't be using that now. What kind of people would we be if we tried to saddle you with a bunch of stuff that, genuinely you'd need, but why would you want to put new antivirus on an XP computer? Or why would you want to put Secure Updater on a new or an old XP computer? Why would you want to add more memory or a bigger hard drive or stuff like that? It doesn't make sense. So if you're still running Windows XP, it's time to move on. If you're still running Windows Vista, you want to get upgraded. You don't have to buy a new computer, but get upgraded to Windows 7 or 8 because you can get a free upgrade to 10 if you do.
What are the bad things that can happen? I don't want to scare anybody here, but when your computer gets older, what are the worst case scenarios?
Death. No, no.
That's always the
digital
worst
death.
case, right.
The worst case scenario, it's going to die.
Yeah.
No. Things that start to happen as computers get older. Power supplies wear down. They don't put out enough power, which causes the capacitors in the motherboard to work harder. Capacitors are those little cylinders you see whenever someone shows you a circuit board, those little cylinders on there. They eventually swell, pop, and leak, and then they don't work right. You can have hard drives that start to fail. The average life of a hard drive, the expected lifespan, everyone says, I just bought this computer 2 years ago, why is the hard drive bad? The expected lifespan of a hard drive is between 2 and 5 years. 2 and 5 years. So in other words, the expected lifespan from it works good enough to use it to it doesn't is 2 to 5 years. And there's a whole spectrum of failure in the middle that you're a little bit worse, a little bit worse, a little bit worse. So those are some of the most critical things. I mean, of course, fans stop working. We had a customer that came in, and it was like he had a clogged heart. His fan was 98% clogged with garbage. We hit it with a 14 horsepower blower. We hit it with a shop vac blower, and nothing moved. He had a smoker in the house. So it was all just glued
Gummed
on
up,
there.
yeah.
So if you don't replace that fan, your
Can't cool
computer's
your
going to cook.
computer, yeah. Well, so what kind of options do you have at Schrock Innovations to upgrade in terms of computer options?
Well, gotcha. As far as upgrades go, we can do just about anything. Some of the newer computers really have us concerned, especially some of the newer HPs, because when you open them up, and we did a segment, I brought one in, I went to Best Buy and bought one, and they're like, why are you buying this here? I'm like, don't worry, I'll bring it back tomorrow. But I brought one in and opened up the side panel to show everybody, this is what you get on the inside now. It's all one piece. You can't change anything. You can't upgrade anything. You can't add anything. You've got what you've got, and when you're done with it, you throw it away. At Schrock, we look more for a modular solution where you don't have to spend a boatload of money today, but you can buy a computer that's going to work good for what you want today and then have some options down the line that you can buy yourself a little more time. Because honestly, the way that the technology is working right now, when Windows 7 came out, Microsoft said Windows 7 is the first of a long line of coming operating systems that will do more for your computer. It will make your computer faster using less hardware. So in other words, they're getting more efficient.
Yeah.
So now, it used to be you kept upgrading because, oh, the new version of Windows came out, now my computer runs like a dog. Now the opposite is true. The higher you can go, the better your computer will run, which is why I'm telling people, if you're on Vista, get on 7 now because you get a free upgrade to 10. Your computer will run even better.
So all 3 locations can help you with a new PC.
Oh, absolutely.
Or help you with maintenance, any
Or
of that stuff
laptops
if you're
or
trying.
tablets,
Yeah.
anything.
The website SchrockInnovations.com, and then you can also search him out on Facebook. Thor's really great about putting sort of articles and advice on social media so that we're not just buying stuff from him, but we're becoming more educated as consumers. I know that's a big part of your mission here.
Well, if you've ever wondered what the safest web browser is and the safest operating system is, that's on our Facebook page right now at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Most vulnerable operating system, Mike, is Mac OS X.
Is it really?
Yep, most vulnerable.
Well, let's talk. We need to talk.
Thanks,
Thor.
Thor.
Appreciate it.